Let's analyze together Robinhood stock, but first of all, guys, read the disclaimer right here and the video description below. I gotta tell you guys, this is completely crazy. This stock is more than 500%. And it all started back in November 2023. At the beginning, it was trading at 7.79, very low in comparison to the IPO price. But look at that, about 600% ever since. Completely insane. But there is an explanation. Let's talk about the fundamentals, because obviously the truth behind this trend is exactly the net income. And the net income at the beginning, it was horrible. You can see like minus 400 million, minus 400 million again early, minus 300 million, and so on and so forth. They were improving a little bit, but the results were horrible, especially the first one, September 2021, it was critical, like minus 1.3 billion, the worst results ever in the company. But ever since, it has been improving. And this is the key. When it decided to go, and this is what I always say, like the positive net income is the best thing you can have in a stock. And this is when it started to change, actually. Here we can clearly see like more than 25 million of net income back in June 2023. That was the first signal. And the second signal was in December 2023. Another 30 million of net income. At that point, it started to go up like crazy, as you can see. The results were even better afterwards, like you can clearly see that the last three ones, they were especially good, even though the last one, it was like a minus 20% in comparison to the previous one, it's still very good. And the upturn is completely insane. Obviously right now, maybe it's a little bit overboard in that sense, but this is how it works, guy. When you have a stock that is performing well in terms of net income, the price actually tends to skyrocket, and this is what you are watching right now. In the forecast, you can clearly see the same thing as well. And look at the forecast, the reporting is better than the estimates. That's also good, a good signal. But the key question here is, okay, is skyrocketing? We have more than 600%, like... But is it gonna, is it going to continue? We see like new highs every time in Robinhood markets in the next years, in the next quarters. Let's analyze it together. So here we have the EPS revenue forecast. This is very important, because this is how you can assess if it's gonna to continue or not, that uptrend, Maybe the bad thing about this is, as I mentioned earlier, a little bit overbought, and this is what analysts from Wall Street think. We have like 17 of them that thinks that the stock should go down minus 7%. Though there is like a very optimistic person that thinks the stock is gonna go up another 17%, and the most pessimistic person minus 47% from current levels, But this is the important information that we have right here. The last quarter 2024, we have an estimate that is actually very good. And here we can clearly see the last is gonna be announced. If it's not today, it's gonna be tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow is gonna be released. And this is very important because the estimate is really good. What can happen here? Okay, because if we have like a reported earnings, obviously the estimate is 0.41, which means that, they are already expecting that. Something below that number, it could mean like a very huge correction for the stock. It depends. If it's 0.40, doesn't happen, it's not a big deal. But if it's 0.20, yeah, you can see that the stock is gonna plummet, if that happens. On the contrary, if we have an estimate of 0.41 and it's like the real data is 0.45, it's gonna skyrocket a little bit, because it's not a big deal. But still, if we have 0.50 or real in comparison to the estimate, it's gonna skyrocket like very huge. Even though it's already been happening here in the last couple of months, but it can continue, because the estimate is really good. The next ones, they are not that good, and that's probably one problem we may encounter, because obviously you need to follow an uptrend, like an every quarter better than the previous one. But as the next one is gonna be like huge, even though the upcoming quarters are gonna be that huge, it's still good. At the end of the day, you have like the best results ever, and you may see a couple of quarters that are not that good. It depends on the season as well. The thing here is like you have to check the annual estimate as well in order to assess the importance of the data. And the data that we have here in 2024, 0.95, and 2025, 1.17. So you can see like it's improving, it's improving every time. Maybe by 2027, they expect like a less growth in that sense. But this is good, you know, especially because at the beginning in 2021 it was horrible. The company has been improving over time, and that's the positive thing about the stock, you know. And probably this upturn will continue. You can clearly see right here, this upturn is completely insane. So if we see for instance like a positive surprise factor, it can continue, you know. If we see like a negative surprise factor, it can go down a little bit, but the upturn is the uptrend, you know. And it's clearly see, you can clearly see right here in August 2024 the start of this new upturn. So as long as it remains that way, it shouldn't change, you know. Obviously a different thing could happen. If we see for instance like let's analyze it together. If we see a correction below $45, that could be a worrisome signal, especially if you have like a negative net income. It's not gonna happen, but at least if you see like a huge drop in the net income, it's gonna be positive either way. But if you see for instance a net income of 30 million again, wow, you know, that's a huge change in comparison to the current levels in terms of net income. So that could mean a huge correction that could happen below $45. But a lot of things have to happen in order to see that. I don't see that happening right now from what I can see from you know, what I can gather from the chart. But this is the thing. And also let's take a look at the seasonals, because at the beginning here you can see the IPO was insane. I remember 2020 in 2021 and I was watching CNBC and it was completely insane, you know. It's like skyrocketed like crazy and then it corrected heavily. And that was because of the net income. At the end of the day, you can follow the hype, but the hype and you know tends to finish sometime. And when that happens, the fundamentals are kicking in. When it kicked in, you know, you can clearly see the stock went down like crazy. And then the next years, you know, they were a little bit better. And this is the data you have to gather. This is a very volatile stock. There are years that are very horrible in comparison. So 2021, 2022, they were horrible. But the thing changed since 2023. The last 3 years, they are so far they are very good. You know, even 2025, we are already more than 40%. It just passed like 1 month and a half. So this is very good. It could be a great year for Robinhood. The market cap that is currently 48 billion, which is not bad. But there is like a huge growth potential about this company. This is the reality, because at the end of the day, commissions are important. The new type of investors, and this is the thing. Yeah, when you are investing in a stock, you have to think about in a logical way. You know, so right now, new generations, they don't have as much capital as the previous generations. And actually, the problem that they have as well is like they are also conscious. They are aware of the situation. They are aware that they have to buy stocks with a broker with low commissions and so on and so forth. And Robinhood just gives them that, you know. In comparison to the traditional banks. Traditional banks' commissions are very high. They are for different types of capital, you know. So retail investors right now, they are more, you know, prone to invest with Robinhood or Trading 212 brokers like that. They are more focused on retail, maybe not with huge capital amounts, but at the end of the day, all these retail traders, they are like a huge sum, you know, and they provide like a huge net income, as you can clearly see with this stock. So that's the thing with this stock. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Remember to read the disclaimer again and to subscribe to Trading ST. This is my opinion, of course, and leave you with the next videos right here. Click on the icon right here. Bye bye.